Listens, everyone. Welcome to 12 Pine. Yeah, I'm 12 Pine, and this is Pine Grove News Live. Yeah, it's a tongue twister, I guess. For me, anyway. 6:01 p.m. here on the East Coast. Yep, southern New England, northern Connecticut. In the valley. Valley people. Just let me check. I'm going to live, and we are at YouTube. We are live at Mixler, and we are recording from Screencast-O-Matic and XSplit. A lot of things working here. A lot of things working just to get it out. Just get this news out. God bless you, and a faithful and loyal sister. Yes. Everything's going okay. Hope everybody's, I hope blessings to everybody, man. We all need them. I'm just thinking for the past hour and a half while I'm going through the news. And since I got home from work about 3 p.m., 3:15 p.m., 15 minutes after, I got on the phone to the IRS, get a question answered, and I got off around 5 o'clock. So, but I gave it to the Lord. I gave it to the Lord. I gave that problem to the Lord. The filing to him. I gave a couple other things to him. Counts, people claiming this and claiming that whatever. I gave it to him, and in one instant, all of it taken away. It was all taken away, all fixed in a blink of an eye. I'm just smiling over it, man, because I was praying to him, during this conversation while I was on IRS hold, tell him that, I give it all to you, Lord, because I cannot take this anymore. I cannot take the fact that I may, somewhere along the line, owe over $900 that I don't have for health insurance, because of credits and stuff like that during the year. But anyways, that and a lot of the things that went with it and around it, all gone. All taken care of. It's just amazing. Stay true to him, stay true to his word, his promises, and we will be blessed. And I wish that upon everyone here. I wish it, everyone, all my brothers and sisters, and the ones that haven't been found yet, the ones that are still lost. Not many left. There are still lost. The restrainer is still here. So while we have time, save our brothers and sisters. Let me go put this out real quick. I got to go into a file and get this that I normally put out. Fair use. Copyright. Words here. Get it out here. Okay, it's out. And now we can go. So stay tuned. I mean, there's a couple good updates that I got in here, found today. One of them concerns Common Core. There is actually good news found today about Common Core. That curriculum that they have in schools. And there's an update on school children. 4 or 5 children in the school where there's a tower out, in the school zone area that have received or gotten cancers from these towers. We're going to talk about an update with that too. I believe that is good news as well. So let's begin. Let's go over to the end time headlines. I mean, there's a lot of news here tonight, and we're going to go through as quickly as possible. Sometimes I forget things. I get on a headline, a topic, and then soon as I'm done with that, anyways. I hope that you're not too bothered by my, um, I don't know, fly at the seat of your pants type thing, that type thing. But anyway, developing two powerful tropical cyclones. They were set to strike Australia coast simultaneously. And apparently this happened before because they're saying that this is the first pair since 2015. So it's only been 3.5, 4 years. I didn't realize, those cyclones down there, from the land down under, occur that often. 4 years, 3.5, 4 years ago is not that long ago compared to some of these historic things that are being broken every year. So these two cyclones, Cyclone Trevor and Cyclone Veronica, poised to strike Australia on two coasts within a day of each other, prompting mass evacuations as well as official warnings of severe and dangerous weather. Of course, state of emergency was declared in Australia's Northern Territory this week, ahead of Trevor's second landfall early Saturday. In any case, man, what was I just thinking? I'm thinking too much. That's why I tend to forget things. We were talking about these cyclones. Australia, yeah, we're talking about Australia. They've been going through a lot, man. That and their record heat, their record summer heat. Beasts of the field dying in mass numbers. There's something somewhere else that's pretty pertinent these days. Massive die-offs. So this is from the week. Mozambique's cyclone. The devastation has become a ticking bomb of disease. These people have been in the news a lot this week. A lot of things going on there. It just feels like they've been forgotten. Cyclone Ida isn't going anywhere. Well, this was, trying to figure out when this was put out. It says 11:45. In any case, the storm has long since subsided over the southeast Africa, leaving at least 750 people dead. That cyclone and the flooding that followed it. But those waters have created a hotbed of disease, leaving unhygienic conditions and the beginnings of cholera, malaria, and typhoid outbreaks. Well, folks, that's always a problem with these floodwaters everywhere. I mean, it's not just in Mozambique's their water flooding woes. I mean, they're a poor nation, probably can't handle as much as the other. But Texas. Remember Houston, and when we're running through those hurricanes and L.A. and Louisiana, China, all those places, every place to flood. All the flooding is going on in the Midwest. All the cattle. I heard it was over 1 million calves. Somebody was telling me about the prices. Yeah, all these things will definitely bring prices to increase for beef. Whether that be the plan or that, in either case, whether it be man's plan, God's plan. God said he would take away the beast. He would take them away. But there is also prophecy that these beasts will attack men. I heard there's such a big amount of zoos that we tend to keep these wild animals in. Tony was talking about that when they're talking about the prophecy of when these beasts will turn on man. Normally they don't go after man, but they will be turned against him. But, with those things, we may not be here anyway. If you're a pre-tribber, you won't be here. I'm just saying pre-trib. I know there's pre-trib, there's mid-trib, post-trib, all this other flat Earth, round Earth, blah 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 blah. Who really cares? I know that we will be with him. Okay, whether we are in the rapture or whether we die and immediately in his arms, we will be with him. That I truly believe. There's been a lot of talk. I've been listening to a lot of videos and doing a lot of studying about this pre-trib. I'm just going to say that I hope, that that's the case, that we will be taken out of here and not have to suffer any more than what we've already been suffering. This is just mild, apparently, considering the tribulation, which is supposed to be 7 years, and specifically rolls around Israel. So supposedly the church isn't in the tribulation. They're not mentioned, but I've yet to have that proven to me. Have not yet had them proven to me whether it's the wrath of God, because these people, some of them call it, it is tribulation. We're going through tribulation now. I mean, Jesus said, even in his time, that we would go through tribulation, and we are. There's a bunch of definitions for tribulation. Anguish, heartache, sorrows, trouble. And some people, switch out the words and call it distress, and distress is part of it too. Yeah, distress of nations. And in any case, I mean, I don't want to be here now more than anybody else. I mean, but the only thing I think about is I think about my loved ones who are unequally yoked in my family, and I do not want to have any kind of special treatment. I really don't. It's my fault, I think, that a lot of my family members have not really searched out God, though I expected at least my son to, because he went to a couple of these church things that I studied and went to over the years. And they do believe in God, but they believe it in their own way, like most people do. They believe in God, but they believe he's who they think he is. In any case, that's one reason why I'd rather stay back. As much as it pains me to see people suffering even now, I can't imagine what it would be like then. I have a hard time sometimes snapping out of a depression, which I no longer have because it doesn't last, because I snap out of it. That's the whole thing. You can get pretty down thinking about all these people in distress. The flooding. Look at these people. 750 dead from that cyclone. I mean, and this is going on all the time. The flooding, all the time now. Earthquakes. I mean, it's all the time. I mean, I think that we're in tribulation now. That's just my stupid little opinion. And I'm probably, I'm 99.9% of the time wrong. That's how it feels anyway. And yeah, for us to go through, we are not appointed to wrath. Yes, I know we're not appointed to wrath. It says it in the Bible. Some people use the words in Matthew and 1 Thessalonians, 1 Corinthians, all those verses to say that this tribulation is the wrath of God. I'm sorry, I don't believe that for one second. The wrath of God. I believe it may be tribulation and great tribulation, because it does mention great tribulation. But the wrath of God, I mean, Jesus, among other thoughts, the cup that he bore in Gethsemane while he was praying to his Father, and the wrath that was in this cup that he saw was his Father. So it disturbed him so much that he sweat blood. That was the wrath of his Father. That wasn't anything else. And he sweat blood over it. What makes you think that anybody else could do more than Jesus could do? What makes you think that we could withstand the wrath of God for 7.5 years? And yes, I could also debate that wrath means also anger. I mean, is fierce anger. And that's what Jesus took for us, because Father does not like sin. He could not be with sin. Sin cannot be around God. So that, anyways, that's just something I'm learning right now. A couple key things. Yes, we will be protected. Yes, we will. We will go to heaven. We will be judged, and we will be found whatever we, that judgment calls for. We're still in the age of grace, and we don't have to do anything except believe on him. There's nothing we can do for works or laws or follow the laws that can get us there. It is all fulfilled by grace. And, the rest is up for debate. I've heard a lot of people debate these things over and over and over again, and there's so much division that's one of my biggest problems, is that there's division. I mean, if the Holy Spirit comes to each of us, and I know that comes to each of us in different ways, in different portions and depths of our walk, but he says the same thing. He's not going to change his mind. He's going to give whoever he will give that portion which that person can bear at that time or understand at that time. But it will be the same. It's the same. It's not something different for everybody, even though we are different members of the same body. Holy Spirit is the same. God is the same. He does not change. Though we may get it at different times and different ways, but it is all the same. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry about that. Let's get back to the news. I apologize. I don't. Sometimes I just go off, and I'm just led to speak it. And, yeah. Let's get back to the news, because there's a lot of it. Apologize again. I just get off in these tangents sometimes. It feels like it had to be said. So, yeah, these things, these diseases, these pestilences, the typhoid, the malaria, the cholera. I mean, we still have a whole bunch of other ones. We have AIDS, Ebola, measles. We can go on and on and on. And we still have all these things that the Revelation speaks of in other Bibles, or other books, I mean. And so let's go on to end time headlines, and we'll go to this. This was an awesome story. Grandmother's prayer closet. It's the only thing left standing after a tornado demolishes the Alabama home. Her prayer closet. Found that to be just miraculous. On times like these, it's sometimes hard to see the goodness in the midst of chaos and destruction. Mother Nature brought a dangerous E4 tornado through Lee County, Alabama, earlier this month, destroying anything in its path. But there's one story of survival that has gone viral online. Jason Smith told 11 Alive he went to the areas affected by the storm as a chaplain with the Billy Graham Rapid Response Team. He was shocked when he came across a home that was completely obliterated by the storm. But there was one thing still standing. Listen to me, please. This is what he states. I just left the family who survived the tornado in this house, and the only thing left standing was this closet, Smith said in a Facebook post. It's the grandmother's prayer closet, and the whole family survived. In the two photos he posted, you could see the slab of the home and nothing left but two partial walls of the closet. I haven't got there yet, but it's allowing me to go. The link. There's the picture, folks. Everything on this slab, all the foundation wall, all the outer walls and the inner walls, except this prayer closet, this one portion that's only left on this big, huge slab. The rest is gone. Wow, what a story. It's faith in these things. It's God's promises. We're covered under the blood of Jesus. Wish we had more. I mean, we do. I mean, there's talk of a Bible that has been through, what was it, 2 fires. The same Bible in 2 different fires, and it's the only thing that survived was this particular Bible. I mean, so you could see God's presence is everywhere. I mean, it's in everything he made anyway. I mean, I love Earth. I can't stand, the system that we're living in, but I love his creation. I love the trees, the grass on the ground, especially in the summer when it gets just an inch or 2 and it's a little, kind of spongy. Depending on where you go. Of course, we got a lot of moss in the backyard. Yeah, no grass there. I just, love his creation. I love watching the trees and the green leaves, especially in a, late afternoon wind, how they just seem to wave in the air and sway back and forth. I'm one that used to like to watch just lay down. I'd go hitchhiking miles a day when I was young. And one time, when I get a rest, I lay on the side of the road. I look up at the clouds and I just, when they were real clouds back then, when you could actually pick out little Disney characters out of the clouds or whatever. So there it is, the prayer closet. And so also I think it was from the activist report, the French military, we told you about this, that Macron, however you want to call him, the Messiah, said he was going to bring out the military, and he has authorized it. French military authorized to use deadly force on the yellow vests to put down that so-called insurrection, revolution. French are very well known for these things. So French soldiers embedded with Paris police will be allowed to open fire if lives are threatened by yellow vest rioters this weekend. Citing the military governor of Paris. They are perfectly capable of appreciating the nature of the threat and answering in a proportionate manner. I guess we'll see. There are always people on either side of anything that you go to that it's always one person, right? That bad apple, you ever hear it? Yeah, we all heard that. It's always one bad apple. One bad apple. Just as long as you don't give it to the doctor, right? Or is that the teacher? No. Apple a day keeps the doctor away, right? This one from WND, we've all heard about this past day or 2 over the weekend. Trump totally exonerated by the Mueller report. Okay, no collusion. Excuse me, no collusion. President Trump celebrated. You know what? This one from the week that came right after Trump, no collusion. Trump has actually, and this is from the week, Trump has actually not been exonerated of obstruction of justice. Now, that's what everyone's falling back on. Now that he's been exonerated, from any kind of Russian collusion, during the campaign and the election, of course, they haven't ruled out that Hillary wasn't involved in some kind of collusion, and they're not, at least they're not coming out in public. That may be the ones that they're doing behind closed doors, following those secret, top secret emails to wherever they went on their private server that Boobadine, meaner. So apparently, special counsel Robert Mueller did not definitely conclude that President Trump or his associates during his 2016 presidential campaign colluded with Russian election interference. Attorney General William Barr's letter to Congress briefing them on the matter. Anyways, yeah, they will continue, and I heard that the report was over 1,000 pages. That's why a lot of people don't have it. And they're still trying to get that out to the public. In any case, millions and probably, who knows, maybe billions of dollars spent in an investigation under false reports and false just lies. Now we got to pick that apart and go put those people in jail, including, I don't know, whatever. That's all I have to say. Whatever. You must have heard about this over the weekend too, because I've even seen this on mainstream media. This is from the week also. That cruise ship, remember that cruise ship that was stranded in rough Norwegian seas, has made it to safety. But I remember them hauling off, and we'll read how many people right here. That's what we've seen on the mainstream media. People being airlifted into helicopters. So evacuees from a cruise ship had some harrowing tales after being brought to safety on Sunday. 479 people were safely airlifted off the Viking Sky cruise, which was stranded in rough seas with 1,373 passengers on board. 436 guests and 458 crew still remained on board the ship. Why? Why would you do that? But they're all safe now. Yeah, CNN reported. So, I guess I should have read a little bit longer. I don't know. So there you go, people. I mean, what is it? Every year at least we hear about some cruise ship. I mean, they have a lot of them, so I don't know. I mean, they have plane crashes, right? And they still consider that one of the safest ways to travel. So it all depends on who is setting the stats and who thinks that, lives lost in a plane crash is an acceptable number to a system getting people around. Is 2 plane crashes a year, okay, and still call it safe? Is it 1 a year? Is it 5 a year? I mean, you see what I mean? People that make up those statistics, and they change them as you go along. Just like when they changed the cesium level over there in southern west coast of America after they started getting reports of this radiation there. They raised the limit, the standard, the amount of cesium that, whatever, they just raised it. I mean, we shouldn't be, I mean, some of it's this radiation, and it's not cesium, but something else. Radiation is in the world anyway, in the ground, other places. Forget what type those radiations are called, but yeah, so what is the acceptable limit, and who sets the limit, and are they exposed to any of this? Some news about the Parkland shooting. We now find out, unfortunately, that there are 2 more people that are attributed to that shooting. They are survivors. They were survivors, but they had 2 of them had taken their own lives. One just past weekend, I believe. So this Parkland shooting survivor, Sydney Aiello, takes her own life. And there was one prior to that or after that, and they're not naming that person. So apparently she was suffering, and I mean, it's just a tragedy, man. She's a beautiful, beautiful person. Just beautiful. and now, now she's gone. 17 years old. Yeah, and so the other one, let's see, was 17 during the shooting, and she was 19 last weekend when she killed herself. Let me see. Yeah, I'm just trying to picture the other one. Yeah, she had the post-traumatic stress, like you would figure that she would, and then survivor's guilt. Somewhere down here it says the other one who is not going to be mentioned. Maybe that's no. See, let me go check this out. There's another article right next to it. Yeah. Donations flood Parkland after apparent suicides. So Sunday, see. The unidentified student was a sophomore and reportedly took his life on Saturday night. So we lost two of them on the weekend. According to the Miami Herald. Yeah, most unfortunate. Yeah, a lot of people, they talk about false flags and other stuff that may or may not have happened. In any case, people still die at these false flags, or whatever you want to call them. There's still human lives attached to every one of these. The onslaught is just horrid. It's terrible. It's the thought of these things, unless you keep remembering the prize and knowing, that we've already won and all these other things that we need to think about when we think about these things. Think about the life, the end game, the prize. We've already won and they've already lost. I mean, it may not look like it because we have so many people leaving in one sense or another. It's terrible when people take lives. I mean, I've talked about it before. Probably will talk about it again. Suicides, and not just these young survivors, but young people in general, teenagers. I mean, that's when I probably first thought about it my first time. In any case, it's just a sad, and then to see all these military people come back, after fighting for us, or for brother and brother, and then coming back and just much stress. Anyways, I can go into a big talk about this and why these things are happening, especially now. But this whole planet has become it's just getting darker and darker, and we have to continue to be that light in that darkness. We can't let it completely, and the Lord will not let it anyway. Let the darkness win over the light. No, you must be the light. I must be the light, the salt, and in this tragedy, people will see the light. Hopefully, God will put someone in front of us when you're ready, when I'm ready. Whatever we need to do to stand in the gap, what we'll do. And so we talk about the Christians. I mean, people are saying, well, we still got it good here in America. And, for the most part, we do, but Christians are definitely being targeted here as well in other ways, financially, other kinds of communal stand-ins or whatever. Yeah. But this ongoing slaughter of Nigerian Christians receives scant media coverage. I've been hearing about this Nigerian Christians thing for a few days now. Let's not forget them. Let's not forget the other ones in other countries over there where Christianity started, that are being persecuted and unto death. But what a reward they will get. And that's why it bothers me, very, very much that they've passed this law in New York and other states to take little children. I mean, those children did not even get a chance to come here and be washed clean. I think they get washed clean instantly once they're murdered. But I would like to have seen. I love watching children grow up and play. They have no. There's no. What do you call it? Can't think of the name of it now. There's no color in their eyes. They have no bigotry. They have no. I can't think of the word. They don't have these differences in them. Well, I've talked to these children. They don't notice these things. And if they do notice them, it's just like being in a regular conversation, talking about a wart on your nose or a pimple on your cheek. That's about how they, look at it. They don't talk about those things. It's the parents that do it. So as the world continues to mourn the fallen and the devastating mosque shootings Friday that killed 50 people and injured dozens more in Churchtown, New Zealand, an eerie hush has fallen over the media regarding the ongoing mass slaughter of Christians in Nigeria. News reports that since Friday, at least 120 people have been killed in a series of alleged attacks by the Fulani militia on Christian communities. Yeah, there's a lot of places in Africa. Nothing new, but yeah, I think they should be reported just like everything else is being reported. I mean, not the mainstream media. They're not going to report it anyway. Talking about other people. Why not report it? Oh, well, here's some good news. This is one of the good news about the Common Core. Okay, so let's just pick it up a little bit. You're going to need a little picker-upper. State Senate committee unanimously passes bill to end Common Core. Hallelujah. The legislation would terminate Common Core standards and replace them with the courses of study for math and English language arts previously in place. So, Senator Delaware, Del Marsh, Republican, introduced Senate Bill 119 on March 19th. What about the numbers there, huh? The legislation would terminate Common Core standards in Alabama and replace them with the courses of study for math. Yeah, we just said that. Immediately prior to Common Core, pending the adoption of new standards by the State Board of Education. Well, we will see. Glad that they're targeting Common Core. I hope that catches fire. Certainly need it here in Kennedy because there's a lot of stupid people. Yeah, that I've seen them do their math, and it doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. So I don't know how they're teaching them to do these math problems, and they want to write them out like they didn't when I was in school too. They wanted to see your work and how you got those problems figured out. But the kids get to bring in calculators. We never got to bring in calculators. That was a no-no. If you brought in a calculator, you were cheating. So what's up with the calculator? And you do need it for scientific formulas and other formulas and figure out all kinds of cosines and Boolean algebra that I hated. So let's move on to Venezuela. Okay, Venezuela from Sputnik. Electricity supply restored to nearly all of Venezuela following blackout. Caracas. Venezuela suffered another major blackout on Monday, today, with disruption of electricity grids have been observed in at least 16 of Venezuela's 23 states in the capital region, and high-ranking source in Caracas police told Sputnik. Electricity has already been restored. Well, we already heard that. So while that problem continues, I'm sure we've all heard this as well. The Russians have landed. From end time headlines, Russian planes carrying troops arrive in Venezuela. Now, I don't know how they got there or what they're doing, but according to the Daily Star, 2 Russian Air Force reportedly planes landed in Venezuela's main airport on Saturday, carrying a Russian defense official and around 100 troops. One flight tracking website shows 2 aircraft left the Russian military base for the Venezuela capital, Caracas, on Friday, with a further jet leaving on Sunday. The arrival of the military jets was confirmed by Javier Mayorga, an independent journalist who said Antonov, excuse me, 124 cargo plane and a smaller jet touched down late Saturday. All right, so, and the next article is this from IntelliHub. Venezuela military deploys the S-300 missiles following the Russian troop arrival. Now, I really don't know what that means. I don't think they want the Russians there either. So, because the article goes on to read, following the major weekend deployment of Moscow unambiguously asserting its red line concerning, potential U.S. military intervention in Venezuela, for which Russia sent a military transport plane filled with Russian troops, which landed in Caracas Saturday. Why does that keep doing that? Let's see. Yeah, they totally changed this article on me. Anyways, let's see. New satellite images reveal a major deployment of the S-300 air defense missile system to a key air base south of Caracas. Crucially, the Russian and 124 transport planes, which touched down in Caracas on Saturday, carried no less than Russian General Valery Tarkashov, identified as chief of the main staff of the ground forces and first deputy commander-in-chief of the land forces of Russia, accompanied by 99 servicemen and 35 tons of cargo. So, as we reported, the flight came just days after a high-level meeting in Rome last week, during which Russia reiterated a grave warning to the U.S. Moscow will not tolerate American military intervention to topple Venezuelan government, whom it is allied. No, no, no. I got that somewhere. Somebody, never mind. Here's a couple recalls for you. This one from End Time Headlines. Avocados, or avocados, how you want to pronounce that. They've been recalled in 6 states over listeria concerns. California-based company announced Saturday it is voluntarily recalling Californian-grown whole avocados over fears of possible listeria contamination. Henry Avocado Corporation said in news release that it announced the recall as part of a precaution after positive test results for listeria monocytogenes that were discovered on environmental samples taken during a routine government inspection at its California packing facility. We have a routine government inspection in there. We are voluntarily recalling our product. So where's the other states? This is a packing facility in California and distributed in Arizona, California, Florida, New Hampshire, North Carolina, and Wisconsin. All shipments from the facility are subject to recall as the company did not begin packing there until, well, anyways. And then this other recall here from 911. Tons of sausage up for recall due to possible metal contamination. I'm pretty sure we did an article, I don't know, one of the last couple of videos, and I do them every other day during the week. I don't know if it was sausage or not. I thought it was something else that had metal contamination in it. Maybe called that. I don't believe it was sausage, but I can't recall what it actually was. So this old-fashioned Polish-style kielbasa. Let's see. North County or North Country Smokehouse, a Claremont, New Hampshire establishment, is recalling approximately 2,686 pounds of ready-to-eat sausage products that may be contaminated with extraneous materials. I gotta go look up that word, extraneous. Specifically metal. The U.S. Department of Agriculture. Ready-to-eat kielbasa. Okay, Polish-style kielbasa. There you go. I rarely eat that. I do eat it. I mean, sometimes it's okay, depending on how you cook it or how you prepare it, I should say. But good to know. We need to know these things, people. Don't want to get sick unnecessarily. But in any case, I mean, we all, right, should be praying over our food. I mean, sometimes it's a hard time keeping up with as much food as, that I can eat. If it's around, I will eat it. Sometimes I forget, that sixth time during the day or whatever, till, while I'm chomping down on it. Yeah, I need to pray over everything. You need to pray over your everything. The drink. I mean, all this stuff that's in our foods now. I don't go on for hours about that stuff, man. I hope you all are understanding these things. And Russia, I think, was it Russia? Russia, I didn't think they wanted anything to do with the GMO thing. They don't, they said no to a couple things, especially with the seeds to grow food over there. But they are now packaging their stuff with the GMO labels. A lot of places here in America don't have to. And I think that's wrong, and that should be changed. Maybe I will go fill out another petition for, the whitehouse.gov saying, look, these labels, we want to know what's in our food. Not that you can do anything about it, right? Not really. I mean, you can protest, certain stores or distributing points, whatever. To the point, it has worked before, so it's not that it's unprecedented. It hasn't worked. It has. I don't know, something to do with the Coke factory or something like that, or the Pepsi factory, not Coke. I mean, Coke is bad enough. We used to use that when we were kids to take the rust off bicycle chains, so I'm sure it's not any better these days. But they put all kinds of chemicals in these foods, and mainly for preservations, stuff like that. But there are other flavor and enhancing stuff. And we've talked about that and what some of those flavorings are. I hate to remind you, but Cinemex is one of these things that is a flavoring. It's also used in women's makeup. Don't know what kind of makeup. Maybe somebody should go research that and look up Cinemex and where that is in makeup. That's for women. Foundations for your face, so on. With that, I don't know why I put this in here. This happened, let's see, today. 6 injured as rocket strikes a house in central Israel, in Tel Aviv. So this is what happens, Now that they can reach Tel Aviv, they're going to do it as much as they can. Tel Aviv, right? That is the capital now? Or that's just the main city? No, the capital is Jerusalem, right? Anyways, this rocket struck a private home in north of Tel Aviv on Monday morning, causing the building to collapse and injuring 6 residents. Wait till they start getting some kind of GPS type tracking or any kind of tracking on these missiles, and they can point them to wherever they want them to go. This is what Israel is trying to prevent the Iranians in Syria from doing. Yeah, this is another thing that came out today. This is so stupid. This is, again, all this stuff that we put out there on social media, platforms, and our personal information. These insurance companies. These insurance companies may now, and I'm sure somebody will sell them the information. Facebook has done it. They have sold your information to somebody with the highest bid. Yes, they have. Insurance companies may use social media posts to determine your risk. And not just, your risk for whatever health, but you're talking insurance companies for everything, your cars. Are you saying something there? Are you admitting to something in there? They're going to follow everything. These people look for reasons to jack up your prices. Oh, yes, 3 years ago you stated on social media, on Facebook, this such a date, this time, that you, ran into a light post and then you drove away and whatever. Then you claimed it on insurance to fix it, that somebody hit your car during the night. If they can find that you lied about something like that, man, they could not only make you pay for the repairs that you lied about, but you're going to have a hard time getting insurance without paying a lot of money for it because you're going to be on a list. This is what they do, man. They want to, what is that? Those people, trying to figure the ones, maybe it's even Allstate, They want to put these devices in your car. And whoever put, whatever, if you guys want to have somebody put something in your car, to tell them how you're driving, how fast you're going, what town you're in, what type of area of, this neighborhood that you're in. All these things. That's not going to happen unless it's forced. Good luck with that. So this is what you got to worry about on these social platforms, man. I don't even put my right birth date out there. Try to change my name. I just don't offer other kinds of information because I don't want it out there. Not that I'm ashamed of anything, but so this one right here, this is the update about these kids in this school. So I believe the last time we reported, it was like 4 or 5 of these children that have this brain cancer or some kind of cancer. And of course, we've known about the fire department that had their 5G pole or tower taken out of there because you had, many of those firemen with brain, cancers, things growing. So after 8 cancer diagnoses and 2 years of protests, Sprint finally agrees to remove cell tower from California school property. You go look around. There's a lot of people that are reporting this. They're doing a great job. That these poles, they're in the mini malls that we go in and out of. They're in gas stations. They're on top of, in very crowded neighborhoods. I told you before, I got 2 of them within 2-mile radius in either direction of me. And those things are good for at least 20 miles. Maybe it's more. I don't know. I was told 20 miles in a radius. Yeah, cell towers do not belong on school property. And so they're taking them down. That's good. And I forget the actual diagnosis, the ages, and how many, but this is a sad story here, except for the fact that they're taking that meter out. And I believe it was Verizon. Sorry, keep remembering Verizon, and maybe it was Verizon and Sprint. I mean, they offer saying that they have 5G, and that's what they're offering with any new service. These cell towers causing cancer. I mean, a lot of these things are out there causing cancer. And though they have the cures, they are not going to tell you. Everything just went bye-bye. Okay, so we got, we're running along. Just a couple more things. Get by them quick. Yeah, this guy who's running, he's a Democratic candidate, this Beto O'Rourke, suggests America should ditch the Constitution. Well, folks, he's not too far away from, you don't understand. Maybe you do. I hope you do. Right now, we're not under the Constitution. So he's not really lying. He wants us probably to ditch it altogether. This guy is he's just a wacko. Some of the things that he said, I gotta get a little drink. I mean, he just reminds me of, AOC, just talking, for the sake of talking. Don't really know what the, Anyways, there you go. That's the first and last time. Unless he does something drastic that I'm ever going to post him. All right, let's see if we can get through these last three. Yeah, maybe just, banned just for this one. Congressman Dr. Mark Green raises alarm on CDC fraud and health dangers of vaccine ingredients. Yeah, that word I just said might have just woken up the AI. The fact that, now it's got to determine whether it's a pro or a con. Because they are not letting some of these posts and deleting other channels for the con part. But anyway, there something I think if I can remind myself to go get the ingredients in some of these vaccines and see exactly these chemicals that are in there. And I think one of them may even be a proponent of aborted babies. Afraid so. And I don't know why they're doing it, but doing it. Some people have their ideas, but I'm not quite ready to go there yet. Trying to make us, by taking our food chain away and making all these floods and all the fires and all these disasters going on, our food supply in the process is being damaged and held up and so on and so forth. We still should have enough food to feed everybody, but they're going to come out with something different. We don't have enough. And then they're not going to come out. There are probably many factories or warehouses somewhere where food is in abundance and they store them. They've been doing that for years. They store these foods just for the same reason preppers do. Where do you think, you're going to... I remember I used to be in a program when we were young and didn't have a lot of money. The government helped us. They gave us milk when we had our youngins and our babies. Milk and butter and stuff like that. Yeah, you went to a certain place in the town and you got these little certificates. And you got a, 5 pound or whatever it is, stick of butter or cheese or whatever. They have many places where they store this stuff. A lot of them could be around Walmarts with train, access, track access. So anyways, this Omar, she's in the news again. She was jeered by hundreds as she arrives at the CAIR event. This is from World Israel News. And if you go and research this CAIR, CAIR. Okay, and I know American intelligence. If you want to go over there, they can tell you about that too. But I would Google it because you might have to listen to videos. They got good videos, good intelligence. So CAIR is actually all I can say. I'll give you just a insight view. I mean, they're basically Hamas in our country in a legal way. And first of all, I don't understand why CAIR would do that, jeer Omar, because she is Muslim, and these brothers, these brotherhood, the Hamas, who are part of CAIR. I mean, heck, we got two Muslims in our lawmaking, or whatever you call that, the level of the lawmakers. Hate politics. Anyway, they got so many people in so many different areas. I don't know half the time how the hell they work. So while she was there being sneered or jeered at, which doesn't make any sense because they're actually on her side, you know. Meantime, Sputnik comes out with this one: U.S. Representative, not Republican. She's a Democrat. Ilhan Omar calls on Muslims to raise hell in the U.S. Now, why is she not being arrested for sedition, for trying to cause chaos against Americans? She's actually calling like Black Lives Matters and Antifa. I mean, they were just made to create chaos. And now she is, I don't know if this is, I'm sure there's sleeper cells here. Always has been, no matter who our enemies is out there, they have people here. That's one of the problems with this country. That's why we should shut down and build the walls, and vet these people, understand where they're coming from, and if they can't, they don't have a history, they don't get in. She calls on the Muslims to raise hell in the U.S. Now, what happens if you find, somewhere down the line, next few days, wherever, you get some, Muslim, I'm just going to say heretic, I guess, extremist that goes out there and takes her words to heart and just shoots a bunch of people, blows something up, or a car bomb or whatever, take a bus or a truck and run people over. She should be arrested for this. This is sedition. This is causing sedition. You don't know what it is, and I can't explain exactly what it is, except this is to cause problems, to create harm to America and Americans. And she should be arrested for this. And at least of all, removed from those committees and out of the Senate or wherever she is. I know she's on some special committee, foreign committee or something. That's where she starts, putting down Israelis or anybody who likes Israelis. So anyway, so Representative Omar, one of the two Muslim lawmakers in the current Congress, called on U.S. Muslims to raise hell and make people uncomfortable in the face of discrimination. The Washington Times reported Sunday. So to me, I say raise hell. Make people uncomfortable, Omar said during her speech. Yeah, whatever, man. You got to take consequences for what you say. We can have free speech, but you're going to have to take consequences in case someone takes your words to heart and goes and blows somebody up or beats somebody down. I don't care how they do it. Maybe they'll come up with another knockout game. Call it, in the name of Allah, some jihadist knockout or punch-out game. Oh, man, how Americans, how we can let these things go on and continue is beyond me. I don't understand it. Well, I say I don't understand it, but I guess I do. Lord, His will be done. But we've got a lot of deceived and cloak over many people's eyes on purpose and or not. Anyways, that's the state of affairs. With that, everyone, I wish you a good evening. It's Monday. It's early. And we'll see you Wednesday unless something comes up. Emergency. I can do it. I'll put it out. So in the meantime, somebody get back to me. I'm thinking about changing the format here. Thought about that all day. We'll see. With that, everyone, God bless. Keep your family safe. Keep your family close. Always know where they are. Make sure you got phone numbers. Make sure you got addresses. What if, one side of the country is blown to hell, which they're, one reason why they're emptying the West Coast there. They're probably doing you a favor when it comes to that, because they're expecting, the two faults there, the Cascadia and the other one there that I always know, but just can't think of right now. Maybe somewhere along the line they know something, and that thing's going to blow up. That and/or Yellowstone as a result of the big West Coast thing. Still think the West Coast is going to split into two from that, and maybe California will drop into the ocean. That's the old thoughts anyway. Well, anyways, 9 point something. Yeah, well, maybe they're getting people out of there so because they're not going to be able to handle any kind of devastated 9 point anything over there on the West Coast. They will not be able to come to your rescue. You might be one of the lucky ones, but they are not going to be able to get to everyone. Not in the least. Maybe that's why they're clearing it all out, cleaning it up, getting people out of there. Besides Agenda 2030, or 21, whatever you want to call it. Anyways, peace out, everyone. God bless.